Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we are back at it with another Marvel Legends review. Of course, in front of me we have the Marvel Studios, the first 10 years, Infinity War box set with Thanos, Doctor Strange and Iron Man. Now, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't too excited when this was finally announced. A lot of people were anticipating what the Infinity War box set was going to be. There was rumours we were going to get the Iron Spider, maybe another Black Widow and Doctor Strange. It turns out we're getting the reissue of the Thanos Build-A-Figure, another Iron Man, and then an updated Doctor Strange. So I wasn't massively excited, but when we finally seen pictures of these guys, they do in fact look like updates to the figures we previously had. This is a much more movie accurate Thanos. I'm not a massive fan of the gimmicks in toys personally, but I understand Hasbro trying new things, so I'm not mad about that. And that Doctor Strange looks very impressive in person as well. So I'm more optimistic about having it in front of me, so we shall have a look at it for the first time myself. On the box, we got the Marvel Studios, of course. On the back, we have a little write-up of all three Iron Man mark out. That is 50 in Roman numerals. Don't say you didn't learn anything today. We got Thanos and, of course, Doctor Strange from this very year, 2008, and it is number 10 out of the 10 figures, well, the 10 box set from this wave. Let's hope Hasbro give us plenty more. So yeah, there is the build a collage on the side, but my table's not big enough to show you. And on this side, you've got a little synopsis of Infinity War. But if you're watching this and you haven't watched Infinity War, there is something terribly wrong with the world. So yes, without further ado, let's get these guys open and see what we think. Pow, and here we have the figures straight from the box. Not really. The more observant people out there would have noticed that these are in fact the older incarnations of these figures, and I wanted to start off by showing you how in fact these new figures are upgrades. So let me bring in these new figures, starting with Thanos. Look at that upgrade straight away, just in the colours and the tones of the figure. Look at Doctor Strange. I really like this figure, I'm not going to lie, but just in regards to an upgrade of accuracy from the film, yeah, this new one, much better. Now, you won't notice much difference with the Iron Man because it's virtually the same, just with a little gimmick. But yes, these are in fact the brand new figures from this free pack from Infinity War from this Marvel Studios line. Now, each of them come with a few accessories, so it is best that I go through these individually one by one, and I'll do some proper comparisons with their predecessors as well. But first of all, can I just say I am quite happy with this box now. Yes, personally, I would have preferred new characters that we hadn't gotten yet, but I do appreciate the upgrade, especially in regards to that Thanos, as he is such an important character. I'd rather have a more movie accurate version of Thanos in my collection, even though I didn't hate the previous one. So anyway, let's go through these one by one, and we may as well start with Mr. Tony Stark, Iron Man. So here's Iron Man with his new light up gimmick, which I'll show you in more detail, but let's have a look at the figure itself. It is basically the exact same previous figure with the same sculpt work, the same paint detail. It's just got a new sort of middle piece. This whole middle section is brand new from the waist to the chest, because that has a gimmicky light up feature. Now, I do actually quite like the idea of LEDs in certain figures, especially with Iron Man, but only his chest lights up, which is a little bit disappointing, as I would have preferred an iconic Iron Man type silhouette with the eyes and chest and maybe some repulsors on the hands, but maybe that was asking for a bit too much. But still, Iron Man, I did actually like this character design. I like the Mark 50 a lot. I would have preferred to get it with tons of different accessories like that new updated SH figure art that's coming out very soon. But in regards to the figure, we do get some accessories. So as you always see, you get a hand with the holes in. So if I quickly zoom in, you'll see that both these hands unfortunately don't have joints in, so they're stuck like this, but they do have the peg holes, so you can peg in these accessories. Now, you do get two of these sort of turquoise blaster effects that we've seen in different colours before, so you can have these in both of the hands if you wanted to pose him like that. Or, of course, you can have them in the bottom of the feet as well, so you can get him flying or blasting. It is completely up to you, but it's so easy to do. He does come with some interchangeable fists for both hands if you don't want him having those repulsor hands out, even though you can get him in some decent flight stands like that, and it is just a case of popping in, popping out, and you can have him with two fisted hands, so Iron Man can be punching Thanos in the face. So let me bring in the other Iron Man for comparison before I show you this light up effect, just to show you that they are basically the same exact figure, just one of them has a light up gimmick and the other one doesn't, but the paintwork is virtually the same, maybe a slightly different in the red for the chest, maybe, I don't know, but it's virtually the same. Maybe the outlines are a bit darker on this. It's completely I don't know, you just can't tell the difference much. But let's look at the main difference. So obviously on this previous version that come with the Thanos Build-A-Figure, it's got the sort of swivel in the middle there, because these two are two separate pieces. So you've got a little bit of articulation going backwards and forward. Not much, but he can lean back like the Terror Squad at least. This guy, this new version, as you can see, has no articulation on the chest. That is because there is a button hidden in the sculpting, which I do quite like. And if you press that, his chest will light up. The arc reactor. So let me turn my lights down and we'll show you that first and foremost. So I'm going to turn my lights off, bring my ISO up a little bit, and then I'm going to press this button. And there it is. It glows. More powerful than I thought, I'm not going to lie. But as you can see, it's just the chest. So if you have this displayed with the light on, it's just going to look like a dot. It's not really an iconic Iron Man silhouette, where if the eyes were there lit up, maybe we would have had a better silhouette for Iron Man. So let me bring my ISO back down, bring my lights back on, let that focus for a minute, and show you on the back here. On the back you can see the screw there. I'm not going to do it on camera, but if you unscrew that, that's where the 3 batteries goes. It does tell you on the box what 3 batteries you need. There's those little circle round ones, and yeah, you need 3 of them. It does come with batteries, so we appreciate that, Hasbro. And there's 2 buttons here. This is on the demo mode, so people in the box can press it without it killing off the battery. So you press it now and it comes on for a couple of seconds before it turns off. But if you switch the battery to the other side, well, switch the switch to the other side, sorry, then let me show you that real quick. So as you can see, there's a switch there. So I've switched it to this side. So now when you press the arc reactor, the light will come on and stay on for a while, maybe until you press the button again. I've not really worked it out, but if I turn my lights off again, you can see it's still on, and as I slowly bring my ISO up, you will see it gets brighter. But that's a camera trick for you, but it is still quite bright. But yeah, I do like when Hasbro try new things, and I do see a lot of customizers doing this type of stuff, which I do like myself. But again, would have preferred it if they maybe had the head sculpt attached and the wires went through, something like that, I don't know. But as you can see, the light is still on, it's not turned off. So now if I press the button again, it turns off. So that is what the settings are. So if you want your light to stay on when you've got it displayed, turn the button that way. But yes, that is your brand new Iron Man. So again, not going to go crazy in comparisons, because let's be honest, it's the same as this guy. But yes, I like it all the same. Moving on to this brand new Thanos. Now, as I said, it is the previous Build-A-Figure, just with a different paint job, but a much needed paint job. After seeing the film, this is a much more screen accurate version of Thanos in regards to just the colours and the tones of the character. And yeah, much prefer this one. Pops a lot better on your shelf, and you will even get the open hand Infinity Gauntlet, so he can crush Vision's head and get that pesky Mind Stone. And we also get an interchangeable head, so no other accessories apart from this interchangeable head. So you get a blank expression and then that evil sort of, it's not an evil grin, but a very angry looking expression. So I'll zoom in, show you the 2 different head sculpts and have a look at the different colours compared to the previous version. So here's a closer look at the head sculpt that it comes packaged with, and it is that evil grin, that evil angry pose. And it is better in person than it's probably coming across on camera, because you can actually see his eyeballs and stuff like that, but on camera I don't know how well it's coming across, and it just looks like maybe just purple. But no, his eyes are definitely in there under those angry eyebrows, and of course you can see his teeth as well, and that new skin tone matches the arms, and it is a much more, as I keep saying, accurate version. But if you look on the chest piece as well, you can actually see some design on the chest piece. So this gold design is different to the previous version, and you've still got the texturing on the body and on the arms, and of course his lines on his chin, which is infamous for. But yeah, the texturing goes all the way around the back, similar to the Build-A-Figure, well, the same as the Build-A-Figure, but just different gold paint. So let's pop off that head and show you the other one. The other head is just a more blank expression, just a bored Thanos, shall we say. Let's get that to pop on. And you can probably see his eyes a little bit better in this one, where you can actually see his eyeballs with just like the dark purple sort of, they look like eye bags, so he's very tired maybe. But yeah, more blank expression. But I do always appreciate it when we get the different display and options. And the Build-A-Figure, you only had one option, so I do appreciate the change. So let's have a closer look at the fist. So again, this is the open palm fist. So hopefully we can interchange the previous fist. So let me try and grab that one real quick. So here they both are. So they look very, very similar in regards to colour. Maybe there's a slight differences, but they are virtually, you can't tell them apart. So I'm going to try the fist on the new Build-A-Figure, okay? So I'm going to pop this one off the old one, which I haven't done yet, but it has come off. So that's the fist from the old figure. And I'm going to try and put it on this new one as well. So I apologise if the camera keeps going on and off focus, but I want to try this. Okay, so it looks like it's worked. So that is the Build-A-Figure fist on the new Thanos from this 3-pack. And even that close, you can barely tell. I think there is a tiny bit of difference in paint. I think the Build-A-Figure, the sort of bronze isn't as dark, but it's very close, isn't it? So let me zoom out so you can see for yourself. There you go. So that is your new Thanos with the fist on his hand. So it's nice to have those options. If you're keeping hold of the Build-A-Figure, you may not even have the Build-A-Figure, but as you know, I always like those different displaying options. So if you have the previous figure, you can put the fist on this guy, which is nice to know, but of course that's the one it comes with. So yeah, let's have a quick look at those faces as well. So I'll zoom back in, and they're your two Thanos faces. So as you can see, if it will focus, the new one is definitely an upgrade compared to the previous version. Thanos looks like he's smiling here. A lot of people call this the happy raisin looking Thanos. Seen a lot of memes on Instagram. But the new one, maybe not perfect, but definitely better than the previous one, so I'm not complaining. But probably going to have my Thanos posed with the angry one maybe. He is a bad guy after all. So it's completely up to you what your preference is, but I think the new 3-pack is an upgrade to the previous one. I don't think either of them are bad figures. It's clearly Thanos from Infinity War. I think Hasbro have done a really good job, but I do prefer the new paint job. As you can see, it's more of a very washed out gold on this Build-A-Figure, and on the new 3-pack one, it's a more predominant gold, and yeah, just prefer the paint job overall. But if you're not bothered about the 3-pack and you've got the Build-A-Figure, is it really worth the money to upgrade? It is completely up to you. I don't think anyone's right or wrong. It's your collection, your opinion is the one that matters. But me personally, I'm going for this new 3-pack one. So let's have a look at Doctor Strange. So here we have Stephen Strange himself, and yeah, I really like this one. At first, I thought you might be able to take off these time stone effects, which are very nice, by the way. If it will focus, you can see that there's a actual design in the plastic, but unfortunately it's attached to the hand, so you can't actually take it off the hand. You have to take off the whole hand, and it's one piece, unfortunately. So you're always going to have your Doctor Strange posed using his time stone effect, which is a little bit frustrating. And at first I thought this figured probably just a complete reissue of the previous one with a new head and a new arm, but no, it's different. Even the cape's different. This cape is a different sculpt altogether. There is some decent sculpt work on the cape, more texture, more accurate design to his cape. No paint work at all on the cape, but you can see the sculpt and detail if you're bothered about that. A bit of gold there on those clasps, but as you can see, there is the peg. There is a hole on Doctor Strange's back, and it is as simple as plugging it in. And unlike most Marvel Legends capes, this one doesn't touch the floor, so you don't have to balance the cape to get the figure to stand. You just have to get him in a decent pose, and it will go. Well, it will stand, sorry. And you can see the Eye of Agamotto there is a separate piece as well, just like the previous version. But the main difference is that interchangeable head. I say interchangeable head, I mean unmasked head. Very impressive, very much looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. So let's zoom in and show you that straight away, because I think there is no denying that has a bit of Benedict Cumberbatch in. From certain angles, it is spot on, in my opinion. Much more movie accurate upgrade. I like what Hasbro are doing, this 3D printing technology. That is just as good as any head you are getting from SH Figure Arts. I'm sure there's a weird innuendo in there somewhere, but let's bring in the other one real quick just to see. So I actually didn't dislike this Dormammu Build-A-Figure. It was in my top 5, I think, of MCU figures of that year. Might have even been number 1 if I remember correctly, because I thought this was pretty good. But this is how far Hasbro have come just in a couple of years, because this new one from this 3-pack is definitely an upgrade. And you can see there as well how the capes are different. That cape's all one piece, this one's different. And you can see the Eye of Agamotto there, definitely more paint work on that. I think they're exactly the same sculpt, but that one's got all gold. That one you can see the actual gold stone glowing in between it. And other than that, I think the figure is the same, apart from the arm and the cape and the head. But definitely an upgrade, if you can see from there. So let me zoom out again and get these two standing side by side so you can see. And I want to see if we can get Doctor Strange holding with no hand. So that's that. And I should mention as well, he does come with an interchangeable hand, but not for the green time stone effect, for the other hand, which is more of a grabby hand, because you want to be able to have Doctor Strange to hold his other effect. So I'm not sure what you call this effect. Is it the sling wing effect? Probably not. It is like a shield, some sort of mystic shield. I don't know what the technical name is, but yes, he can hold that with that interchangeable hand. So you can have Doctor Strange on your display using some of his powers and his mystic spells, and it does look very good, to be fair. So no complaints. Definitely an upgrade in regards to your Doctor Strange figure. But if I just take that off just for a minute and bring in this other one, you'll see what I mean. How this one, sort of, you can balance on the cape, and the cape's like probably too big. But other than that, it's sort of the same figure, just different paint job. But this is, again, definitely an upgrade. Can I use that hand to get rid of that? Let's try. So I'm going to take off that hand. Take off that hand. Try it in there. So yeah, you can use the hand from the previous Doctor Strange, so you don't have to have him holding the time stone effect. But unfortunately, those green things are always on the arm. Could you go about swapping the arms? If you really wanted to, I think you probably could. There is a few different paint differences. There's more light blue there, but I think the dark blues are the same. Either way, I don't know how you're going to display yours, but again, I just like to show you all those options. But this one is definitely an upgrade. Just a shame we didn't get an interchangeable arm, so we don't have to always have those effects on. But yeah, your Doctor Strange is definitely going to stand out on your shelf now anyway. And it definitely looks like Benedict Cumberbatch as well. Definitely. So you know me, I could talk forever about action figures, especially Marvel ones, and I could have probably done this review in 5 minutes, but no, I've dragged it out. But overall, very happy with this set. Even though I wasn't that excited when it was first announced, I am glad I've got these upgrades in my collection. So now I've brought the box set, I could probably sell the other ones and make my money back for this box set. So it all evens itself out overall. But I'd be remiss not to show you this. This is the trio from the Infinity War film, of course. We have the Iron Spider, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange. Now, this is the Marvel Legends Iron Spider, but what I have done is brought that knockoff or other brand Spider-Man from eBay, where it had those these gold articulated arms, which are very nice, by the way. So obviously, I wasn't interested in the 7-inch tall Spider-Man figure, because it was just, the scale was all wrong for Marvel Legends. But what I've done is dremeled some holes in the back of this Spider-Man, and you can see reviews online of how people have done this. But all I've done is dremeled a couple of holes in the back of my Spider-Man, plugged in these pieces, and now my Marvel Legends has Iron Spider arms. I know Mafex will have their official one coming out next year, but it definitely is something Hasbro should have given us. I know they probably didn't originally because of the embargo and Marvel, the studios told them not to release anything due to spoilers, but now the film's been out, they should have released some sort of box set or something with these Iron Spiders because they're so iconic. But I'm not one for customizing at all. I really don't like customizing figures because usually I feel like I'm devaluing them since my customizing is so bad. But in regards to this one, I had to get those arms on, and I don't think these three look bad together at all. So yeah, had to show you that. So since I showed you that, let's show you Thanos with some of his fellow members of the Black Order, because this is something I'm definitely hoping Hasbro finish off. Now look how big Cull Obsidian is. You can't even see him on the whole camera. I'm going to have to move my camera up. So there is Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure looking massive. And then his bringing Proxima Midnight as well, who isn't very short either herself. These guys are massive. So they are our three members of the Black Order so far. Fingers crossed Hasbro do give us Ebony Maw and Corvus Glaive, as I do want to finish this Black Order. Really like having my villains on the shelf just as much as the heroes, as everyone needs an adversary, and it just makes the display look so much better. So these are looking very movie accurate as well. Maybe not a perfect, I know the Cull Obsidian come across a little bit different in the film, but let's be honest, if you look at these on a shelf, you know who they are. So I'm not complaining about the few minor differences. I think Hasbro have done a great job, and I can't wait to see what is to come. But Hasbro, please, don't just leave us with these three. I need Cull Obsidian, I need Proxima Midnight, I need her husband Corvus Glaive, and I need Ebony Maw. So please, finish it off for us, okay? But yeah, these guys look great, and they are very tall. If I just bring in an average size Marvel Legend, so here's Iron Man. As you can see, he looks like a midget compared to all the three of these guys. But yes, they're great. They're looking good. And just for fun, let's bring in a Marvel Select Chitauri, because obviously Thanos does have a Chitauri army, and even he is shorter than the Thanos. So if you've got a couple of them, you can have them in the back of your display. And Thanos has his own army to fight your Avengers. And one last one, why not? Let's bring in some more Infinity War figures. There is Vision. And let's bring in one more that I've got next to me. Here is Thor. Thor should have went for the head. I'm sure there's another innuendo in that sentence as well. But there we go. These Infinity War figures are looking great, by the way. And I do think I am going to do a full sort of Infinity War figure roundup and talk about all the figures that come from this movie. Maybe rank them, maybe put them all on the table. Because I think Hasbro have done a great job at giving us the figures from this movie, and it makes me more excited for Captain Marvel next year, obviously Avengers 4, whatever that is going to be called, and even the brand new Spider-Man Far From Home, as I'm hoping for some new MCU Spider-Man villains, maybe Hydro Man, maybe Mysterio, Scorpion, who knows, but still exciting times ahead. But as always, I'm rambling, so I'm going to shut up and say, if you do like my review and you are still watching, then please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. There are over 200 videos on that videos tab, all Marvel Legends reviews, so go and check out some of my other content. Hope you enjoy, and as always, I shall see you on the next one.